Well, good morning, YouTube. This is Chuck, and as you can see, it's another bright, shiny morning in Quartzsite, and it's Monday, February 10th, 2025, about 8:30 in the morning, and I'm out here taking care of some of my utility needs, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it as I go along. When you dry camp, or boondock we call it, out in the desert, of course you have no hookups, but you have the same needs that you'd have any place else. So let me talk about that just a little bit. One of the things you need, of course, is power. And the way I address my power situation is I have a little fold-up 95-watt solar panel that just plugs right over there in the corner of the trailer to help charge my batteries. When that's not enough, that's my flagpole laying there on the ground. I took it down because the wind was making it rattle. I got a little generator. Well, it's been a little bit different on this particular trip because now that we're using the Starlink, the generator, I have to run the generator to run the Starlink. And I'll probably figure out a way to change that. The other limiting factor, you hear that generator running, by the way, it's not very loud. Another limiting factor you have is water. Now my trailer has a 42-gallon water tank, and I carry 3 of these 7-gallon jugs with me, and I'm filling that water tank right now off of that jug with that little battery operated pump, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. This jug is almost pumped down dry, and I don't know how much of this I can do. I think I might be able to set the camera here somewhere and show you what that pump looks like. But so I carry 3 of those, and so that's a half a tank. And so we want to take showers this morning, so I got to put the 3 of those jugs in the tank on the trailer because the tank on the trailer is low. So water's water, you can always pack those jugs around. They're kind of heavy. There's a place in town that actually you can fill those things for about $1.50, and it's a quarter machine. And what it does, it has RO water, reverse osmosis water, and it I got to turn this up on its edge here so I can get the last little bit out of that corner. I may have to set you down to do this here in a minute, but anyway, they have reverse osmosis water. Quartzsite doesn't have the best water in the world, and so if you want water to use for domestic purposes, you have to use reverse osmosis water. And these machines are quarter machines, and you put in 4 quarters, it'll give you 5 gallons. It's 25 cents a gallon, but if you do it $1 at a time, it'll give you 5 gallon. And so basically I can do 4 quarters and get 5 gallon in here, and 2 more quarters and get 2 more gallon, and that'll fill it up. And I got 3 of those, so that'll give me a half a tank. And this is, if you hear that thing start making a funny noise, that means it's I can get all but about a cupful out of these containers here. And it's going to start making a noise here in just a second. And I'll pull that pump out of there and show you what that red handle there has 2 D batteries in it, and that's what runs this pump. Okay, it's empty, so we'll turn it off. I'll pull it out of here so you can see what it looks like. And it's just got hanging by the hose there in the fill. So that's all it is to it. These things are so important that I actually carry an extra one of these, a brand new one, just in case. And then this can here is empty. So we'll go over here, and I'll set this on the tailgate, and I'll talk a little bit more before I put the next one in. As you can see, there's another one of those right there, and another one way back up in the corner. I got to go dig that one out. But I carry 5 gallon of gas for the generator, and this can here is almost empty because we've been here about a week. I got 1 more fill up in there, and of course this is my water filter for when I'm hooked into water in a park somewhere, and white bag is trash. But then for gas, there's 2 5-gallon propane tanks underneath there, and that runs my heater, and it runs my stove and oven, and also the water heater. The water heater is both electric and gas. It'll run either way. So if we're out here boondocking, of course we run it off of gas. And so I actually carry a spare, I get a spare 5-gallon tank, and it's actually under that little cover there that I'm using for the barbecue right there. So if one of these runs down, you know, you can go into town and refill it. But so that takes care of all your basic needs. My biggest limiting factor when it comes to boondocking is how long I can stay out is my waste tanks. And my trailer has what they call a black tank, which is for the sewage, and then it has 2 gray tanks, one for the shower and one for the kitchen. And usually the shower one's the one that fills up first. And so when those tanks are full, you got to dump them somewhere. And what we normally do is we'll go into town somewhere and find a place to dump it. And there are places, all kinds of places in Quartzsite where you can do that. When we go home, there's actually a gas station that has a free dump that we go to, and usually as soon as we get home, on the way home, before we even take the trailer home, put it away, we'll go dump our tank. So we'll probably dump the tank this time before we leave Quartzsite, so we don't have to haul that stuff all the way back home. But it's our limiting factor for us, if we're going to live a fairly normal life, is about a week. And after about a week, we need to go dump tanks. The rest of the stuff we can handle, but tanks, of course, there's no way to handle that. Now, there are actually some places, there are actually trucks that come around with a vacuum system and a water tank on it, and they'll suck the waste tanks dry and give you water right here on the spot. But some of those guys, they're making a living doing that, and it's pretty pricey, so there's better ways to do it. But so that's like I say, our limiting factor to camp out is about a week, and after about a week, we need to go dump tanks and fill up with water and do all that kind of stuff. So that's just a little glimpse into boondocking. And you know, and like I said before, when you got a trailer like this, you're not really camping in the true sense. You're actually just living in your trailer someplace else. And most of the time anymore, we go someplace where we got hookups, but once in a while we like to get out and boondock, and that's what we're doing here in Quartzsite. So let me wrap this one up, and I'll just tell you like I always do, we take care of each other and love each other, and you can still hear my generator running in the background. And I got to have that to make the Starlink work, and I talked about that in another video. But it's having the Starlink and having unlimited Wi-Fi out here in the middle of nowhere, you know, that's a real game changer, and I really kind of like it. And so I'll be back again with another one here pretty quick. I've got a couple of rigs I'm going to tour here probably a little bit later today, and they're pretty cool rigs, and I'll bring you some stuff on some other subjects, and then we're going to leave and go home tomorrow. But right now, let me give you another quick look at the solar panels and my shadow in the corner there, and tell you peace out.